Alright, what's up, guys? I hope you guys have had a fantastic day so far. So, you guys read the title, you know what's up. I'll be telling you about a pretty crazy Uber ride I had. So, this all starts, I want to say 2.5 years ago. It's just a usual night out to eat. And I was with my dad, and we decided to, order an Uber home. We didn't drive, he had a little bit to drink, so, just order an usual Uber ride home. And all was good. Our house was about 15 minutes from where we ordered the Uber. So Uber comes, right? I don't remember what kind of car it was. It was something, I think it was some sort of Honda Civic or something. I mean, it was a newer model. It wasn't like a really old, burnt down car or whatever. But anyway, we get in, and the first thing I notice are these like polar bear fur seats. I mean, this guy's entire car was just this white fur like stuff all over his seats. And you could tell like it wasn't the original stuff, or he didn't have it properly put in. Like literally, I looked at the top of the seat where your headrest is, and I could see staples. Like this guy just pretty much took some fur and stapled it into his car. So I mean that was sus already. Anyway, sit down and I look at this guy and he is ripped. I mean this guy is buff. We're talking like benches 400 pounds, squats like 800 pounds. I mean, this guy was huge. I mean, his deltoids literally like formed into his neck. Like, this guy's neck is like a foot and a half wide. I mean, it was absurd how ripped this guy was. So, whatever. Like, as a ripped guy with some weird polar bear fur seats that he probably killed with his own hands, whatever, right? Let's just get home. It's only a 15-minute drive. So, I don't notice anything at first, right? Neither does my dad. We're sitting there. And I want to say it wasn't really till we almost got home, maybe like 2/3 of the way home, until my dad, like, he starts pointing at something, right? And he's on the passenger side in the back, and he starts pointing, like, to the front seat, right? Except I didn't think he was pointing at the front seat. Like, I didn't think there was anything there. I thought he was like pointing at something in the road, so I'm like looking out, looking into the road, trying to find what he's pointing at. And there's like nothing there. I'm like, what are you pointing at, dude? And then I see his finger. He's like pointing down. He puts his finger all the way into the passenger seat and points down. And I kind of look around, to the left a little bit, and sitting there is this inflatable goth, like emo punk band sex doll. I mean, this thing was one of the inflatables. I mean, it had those metal rings that all the goth people wear with the spikes all over it, around the wrists, around the neck. And, like, literally, I mean, this thing was inflated to the max. I mean, this thing's nipples just pointing like daggers. I mean, like, dude probably could have picked it up and just stabbed me with it. So, obviously, that's pretty funny, right? So, me and my dad are, like, looking at each other like, we're trying not to laugh because this dude is ripped. I mean, he's got polar bear fur seats. We don't know where those came from. And he's stapled on. I mean, that was kind of sus, right? He's ripped to shreds, and he's got a goth sex doll in the passenger seat, right? So we don't know what to do. We're kind of freaking out. So, well, freaking out isn't exactly how I'd put it. It was more like we were laughing, and then we started to freak out and kind of look at each other like, what's going to happen, after we finished laughing. It was that look like, are we going to actually get thrill killed tonight, But luckily, when the laughing stopped and we started looking at each other like that, we were only a few blocks from my house, right? So we were like, all right, we just got a few more blocks. And the guy had started to look at us, right? Like, literally, like, he would drive literally like a few feet, just laser glare at, like, my dad, or he would turn laser glare at me, boom, right, left, turn all the way, and just glare at us for, like, half a second, and then just keep driving. So we cross the intersection. My house isn't on the corner, but it's almost at the corner, right? So he goes through the intersection. My dad's like, oh, you can just stop on this side because our house was on the other side. And I was surprised my dad was willing to talk to the guy. I wasn't going to say anything, right? So I'm on the driver's side. I get out. And when I get out, I'm just trying to walk across the street to my house and just be done with this. I don't know what this guy's into, if he's going to take us home or take us to some weird sex cult and, string us up and rape us. I mean, literally, I was getting some, like, Pulp Fiction feeling from this shit. I mean, this shit was weird, dude. So I shut the door, and I always do this, right? Just to make sure I shut the door all the way. I look back to make sure it's shut. And when I look back, the guy has his window down, and he's just glaring at me. And I kind of like freeze. I mean, like I was so intimidated by the guy, and I just look at him, and in this deep, like almost like FPS Russia like Russian accent, the guy, I mean, it was the deepest Russian accent I had ever heard. I mean, literally, this guy was bellowing. Like, he just looks at me and goes, "She doesn't like you." But a lot deeper and a lot scarier coming from this, like, 300-pound buff guy. And I was just like, I just froze. I was like, all right, the sex doll does not like me, apparently. I don't know how to feel about that, but I just eventually, I mean, not eventually, but when you're frozen like that, it feels like forever. So I crossed the street. It was late at night. There wasn't any cars or anything that I had to worry about. So I crossed the street, and I like go up to my door and I look at my dad and I'm like, "Yo, did that guy really just have a goth sex doll in his passenger seat?" And he was just like, "Yep, I'm pretty sure that's what it was." And we just looked at each other and we're like, what the fuck? I mean, that was some fucking scary shit. As I said earlier, like, that was some Pulp Fiction shit. We got in the house, we start making up. You know how, like, when you guys have these, like, crazy stories with your friends, and you start, like, fantasizing, like, oh, if it went differently, like, what if he abducted us and took us home to his weird sex cult or whatever and threw us in his dungeon, put bobs in our mouths and, like, raped us or something. I mean, that could have been anything, but thankfully, didn't get to that. It was just a weird experience that I can laugh about now. But yeah, that is the story of the sex doll Uber driver. That night, we actually ate dinner with my whole family. It was just my brother and my mom. I think they went to Walgreens after. So they were going to take the bus or something because they had to do some like late night shopping or something, if I remember correctly. But I can't imagine if we went with all four of us. Because yeah, we could put three in the back, but someone's got to sit in the passenger seat, and I don't know what that guy would have done if one of us had opened the door and it was just him sitting there with his sex doll. He probably would have just killed us on the spot, honestly, for getting near his precious doll. But well, didn't come to that. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this story. It was a pretty crazy one, if you ask me. I'm going to be uploading daily videos in the future, daily stories like this, maybe some other stuff, maybe some video game stuff. If you guys like the video, like and subscribe. If you didn't, I really don't know why you're still watching, but thanks for watching the video. I'll see you guys next time.